Hey, Cambridge Vineyard family, Glenn here. On Sunday, Tab introduced a new sermon series. Basically, it's about God's invitation to us to find and live in peace, His peace, even when our world is in chaos, whether that's our own personal world, whether it's kind of a family or even international, that in the midst of chaos, that we can still, God's invitation is still to find peace. And she's asked us to reflect on Psalm 23, Psalm 24, and Psalm 25, and then also sort of threw in this kind of strange phrase that Jesus said with his disciples, that's found in Mark 8, Matthew 16, and Luke 13, where he tells his disciples, "Beware of the yeast of the Pharisees and of Herod." And so we're going to be sort of unpacking that over the next few weeks. One of the things that Tab said that really, really struck me is that we're on this journey together as a family. And in our Sunday service planning meeting each week, this past week, Tab mentioned that she'd already had two people come up to her and say, I've been thinking about these verses been reading these passages, and this is what God's been putting on my heart. And we found that really, really encouraging. Thought, we need to be more intentional. We want to be more intentional about gathering that and creating space for that to happen. So we created an email address, stories@cvcf.ca, and we're inviting people to, as you're reflecting on these passages or as in your own times of praying and reflecting with God, what has God been saying to you? And how is God stirring in your life? And what's going on? We want to kind of gather those stories for a couple of reasons. One is just for discernment for us as we're planning going forward. Like, what is God saying? Like, it's easy for us to be thinking, well, this is just what's going on in my life. But if lots of different people are saying the same things, okay, that sort of discernment for dummies helps us to sort of, okay, well, let's kind of focus in on this area. Also, I find it really, really encouraging just to hear what's going on. That God is actually active and at work in our midst. And so we want to encourage you as we're doing this together as a family, that we have places that we can get feedback and hear from one another. Now, if you're concerned about privacy, the only people who see this email will just be those of us on the planning team. And be sharing sort of out of general themes. But if there's something specific that you say or that someone says that this would be good for the whole body to hear, we'll ask your permission first. So don't worry about sending stuff in. We'll talk with you and figure that out together. What's a safe way to be able to share that that doesn't violate your privacy? So thanks everyone. Again, just want to invite people that we are in this together as we collectively see how do we actually live in God's peace when so much around us is pulling us away from that. Have a great day.